Welcome back to another eBay video. This is a mini story time. Just to run it back from the beginning, the first thing I do whenever I'm listing an item, whether it's new or used, is try to get an understanding of how that item is usually priced. The idea in this market is to beat all the other prices. Being cheap is the only incentive to get people to opt to shop with you versus other places. So here you see me looking at how much Timberland boots cost on average, but these prices are way out of the price range I even had in mind, and you will see why in a minute. After I get an idea, I go ahead and start to list the product. The information that pre-populates on the listing there is just standard based on average information people put when they upload Tims. I usually press continue without a match because the last thing I want is to use the details from someone else's listing, and even though it looks the same on the surface, there could be some small difference I don't catch that could upset a buyer once the item is received. When listing used items on eBay, it is very, very, very important to show and write down every imperfection. You want to make sure the buyer knows exactly what they're getting so there are no surprises and no room for a refund request nor any negative feedback. Especially if it's already cheap, because darn, I'm barely getting anything, so I want to keep it. These are the pictures that I took, and yeah, they do look a little, you see why I was saying that price range was up there in a way that it shouldn't be. So that's why you have to indicate that the item is used. My dad had these shoes and he was never going to wear them. They just rotted in his closet, and the leather part around the cuff just started to peel, but the tread on the bottom looks unwalked on. So there's that. I guess that's why I felt like it was still okay to sell them, because somebody could still get some use out of them if they don't mind a little cosmetic imperfection. But they'll still be good to do something where you don't have to be dressed to the nines. Sunday's best. Why is this phrase dressed to the nines if everybody wants to be a 10? Or is that not a phrase? Did I just make that up? I posted these at night, went to sleep, woke up the next morning, and boom. They already had a lot of views, meaning people were interested, and we had the option to send an offer because people had put it in their watch list. Y'all probably saying 29 is not a lot, but on a used item overnight, yes it is. Now, before I even sent out any offers, we received this message. It says, "Can you go 15? These have been through hell and high water." I added the high water for emphasis. This seems like an innocent enough request, right? Wrong. In all our 4, 5, 6 years of YouTube experience, we started being at a panorama. This message is red flag coded. Yes, we have offers turned on, and we usually accept most offers, but when someone already comes in off the gate making a comment on how it looks, despite the fact that they can see it and are still feigning interest in it, those are the kind of people who usually complain once they get it and say that it's worse in person than it is in the photos, and they would like a refund and to keep the item. It just turns into a messy situation, and we want to avoid that. I did not respond. After that, I went ahead and sent out the offer with my fingers crossed, hoping it wasn't to that person. And I had marked the price up a little bit higher than I wanted it to be anyway, so that when I send an offer and the person, if they decide to send a counter offer, I'll be closer to getting what I actually want versus if I put the price I actually want and then everybody is making offers for it to be lower. I always take out that "here's your chance to get this item at a great price" message because it sounds a little crass to me. I don't know. It's saying like, I'm doing you a favor by giving you this, when really I think the buyer is kind of we're doing each other a favor. I like to put a different note in there, also enticing them hopefully to check out some of our other items to get a discount on their overall purchase. I literally put the phone down, picked it up, and boom, somebody had bought the purchase. Somebody had bought the boots. A few minutes after they bought it, they sent us a message. It starts, "Hi sir, do I give man?" Anyway, they were basically explaining they put the wrong address in during checkout and wanted us to change the address. And I sent them a screenshot of eBay policy showing that we don't even have the capability to do that. And I could cancel the order, refund them, and then they could repurchase. They agreed to do that. Okay, so since he addressed me as sir, I had to be a man of my word. And I went in and canceled the order, relisted the item for free. If the buyer requests to cancel, eBay will relist the item for free or without using one of your free listings that you get per month. And then I went on about my day. A little while later, I realized I have another message from the buyer, and in this message, it's asking when will the refund be processed, and I explained that I had initiated the refund as soon as we spoke, and the time frame it would take to hit his account would depend on eBay and the bank. The person says okay, so I close the message down, and going about my day once again. Because one thing about it, I'm going to go on about my day. Not too long after that, the shoes were purchased again. I didn't really pay too much attention to who the buyer was. I just started to pack them up and get them ready to go. You never know what can happen in transit, so I like to enclose items in plastic to give them an extra layer of protection. I recycle the plastics that come in a package that I might order. I do the same with boxes. When you're a reseller, but not technically a price... I don't want to call them price gougers, but not necessarily a reseller. One way to save on expenses is to reuse packaging materials that are sent to you when you purchase them. And of course, I had to get the measurement and weight because, baby, USPS does not play. They will send your package right back to you or drop it off telling the person who bought it from you that they have to pay in order to receive the package. They have to pay some extra. Here you can see some different prices. Even though USPS has gone up consistently over the years, they are still a bit cheaper than most other services. It was here that my heart dropped a little bit. The person from before said, when will it be relisted, y'all? I mean, I'm packaging it up, thinking it's getting ready to send to this person. And immediately I go and check the name because I'm thinking, oh, wait, what? And I realized that someone else had bought it. At that point, there was nothing else I could do. Go ahead and purchase the label. After I purchased the label, I went ahead and left them feedback, trying to prompt them to leave us feedback once they get the package. And I like to add a personal touch, including a handwritten thank you note. Also informing them that we update our inventory weekly and offering them a coupon on their next purchase. Common sense ain't common, and hindsight is 2020. I don't know why I went ahead and taped the box up before I wrote the note. I like to put it on the inside of the box to make sure they see it, because it can get swallowed up in the envelope. A moment of silence for the time I lost trying to make this box fit in the envelope when it obviously wasn't going to. Oh no, we fell over. Grab the life alert. Sometimes I use the brown packaging paper, but it's really too heavy and I don't want to add unnecessary weight. So I just cut up envelopes and make it fit the box that I'm trying to use. Most of our packages ship the same day if they are bought before a certain time, aka before my bestie, the mailman, comes, and then I run it outside to him and off it goes. Overall, this was a good transaction. The buyer was satisfied and left us positive feedback. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to subscribe to catch the next one. Okay, thanks, bye.